This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Hey everybody, it is the After Party live on this Tuesday. Hope you enjoyed the Mark Thompson show featuring Michael Schur today. I know we had some technical issues there at the end, but overall, good show. I thought the conversation between Michael Schur and David K. Johnston was amazing. So I'm glad that you're here. Judy, I see that you're feeling under the weather. I hope you're better soon as well. Hate to see one of our own falling ill, so I hope that that you're good. I did not forget about you. Hard to make the transition to one show to the next sometimes. Pardon me. Hello to you, Dan. And thank you, Dan, for always going in after the fact and commenting on shows. It does something to YouTube that makes them more attractive and bumps them up in the, what the shows are shown to other people, they're presented to other people. So if you comment on something, it actually helps. So thank you for that. And also, thank you for always reminding, and you do this better than I do, reminding people to click subscribe and click like. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that. I am remiss. I say it once a show. There's a PayPal link in the show description, and there's a PayPal link in the About tab on the show. The show does not happen. There are fees to be paid for the podcast, for the platform we use to get the show on the air, for the email address, all of these fees. This show does not go forward without the help, the generous help of everyone that helps crowdfund the show and contributes to it. So thank you for that. And it also doesn't go forward without subscribers and without people clicking like. So thank you for that. And that's a free option as far as helping. So really appreciate it. Hello to you, Nullifidian. I'm glad. Thank you very much for that. Gordon smashed it. Thank you very much. All right, let's jump into some of these stories because I have a story about Starbucks. I don't know if used to be, and I don't know if a lot of people still do this. Go into Starbucks, you work for the day, you set up shop, you see people in there with their computers, people have meetings at Starbucks. It's kind of like in some areas, a community place to gather or to do business or to study or what have you. And a Starbucks, if you were driving through a city and you really needed to use the restroom, you think you could run right in. It's a Starbucks, it's going to be clean, what have you. Just happened to me on the way back from Oregon. However, Starbucks has a new policy. I think that this has to do with maybe issues with homeless people using their facilities. Maybe, perhaps, that is what touched this off, but I don't know. I saw the story on SF Gate, and the headline is that hanging out at Starbucks will cost you, the company now reversing its open door policy. Whoa. Okay. Well, they say if you want to hang out or use the restroom at the Starbucks, you're going to have to buy something now. This is not a hardship for me because often when I go into Starbucks, I'm not walking out without a passion iced tea or something. But this week, Starbucks says it would be reversing a policy that where they invited everyone into the store. They have a new code of conduct now. They will be posting it at all of the stores. It bans discrimination, harassment, consumption of outside alcohol. Don't be boozing it up in Starbucks with outside booze. No smoking, no vaping, no drug use, no panhandling. And also pay to be at Starbucks. The Starbucks spokesperson said the new rules are designed to help prioritize paying customers. They say they want everyone to feel welcome and comfortable by setting clear expectations of behavior and use of the Starbucks spaces. They say we can create a better environment for everyone. So their new code of conduct at Starbucks says violators will be asked to leave and the store may call law enforcement if necessary. And that all Starbucks employees are receiving training on enforcing this new policy. So they had this open door policy. Do you remember the case back in 2018 when there were two African American men? They went to Starbucks for a business meeting, and this is in Philadelphia, and they were asked to leave because apparently the store there in Philadelphia have this policy of asking non-paying customers to leave and the men had not bought anything. So the police are called, they're arrested, the whole thing caught on video, major embarrassment for Starbucks. So Starbucks says they don't want people to feel less than if they're refused access. You say, we don't want to become a public bathroom, but we're going to make the right decision 100% of the time and give people the key. Since then, that whole give people the key no matter what policy has really been tested. And employees and customers have apparently been struggling with dangerous behavior in stores. They had to shut down 16 stores around the country for repeated safety issues. There were drug use, there was drug use going on, there were disruptive behavior. Staff felt threatened. It was a tough one. So this new rule is part of the plan by Starbucks to kickstart their sales, which apparently are sagging a little bit, and to reinvigorate the place. They say they want to recapture a community coffee house feeling long before the drive-through lines, the mobile order backups, and other issues made visits more of a chore. So come into Starbucks, buy something. That's the new Starbucks rule. Now we're all aware. Have you seen, I love this story so, so much. Have you seen, if you live in Boston, or even if you don't, these giant pink guys? I mean, they're cute. It's part of this pink man thing, giant inflatable pink men that are taking over Boston. And I have to say, it's kind of adorable. Here's a picture of one of these pink guys, giant inflatable balloony looking things, guys that are all over Boston. And they're peeking into windows, they're hanging out on top of buildings, they're in parks. This one is looking into a bar at the Vermilion Club in Boston. There are several of these figures all over town. They've got one climbing a tree, one waving from a rooftop, one stuck between buildings, one peeking into this large window. Adorable. And it is part of this immersive outdoor exhibition called Winteractive. It's inspired by vibrant winter festivals and art exhibitions in Quebec, Canada. It'll be on view through the end of March. I don't know why, I'm just so amused by this, just randomness of these giant pink guys everywhere. Here's one climbing a tree. So, I don't know if they move them around at all, or, if you never know where you're gonna see one, I don't know. They're made of steel cable, PVC, and blowers. They stem from this artistic movement called mignonisme. Well, I'm saying it wrong. Mignonisme. Mignonisme. Yeah. Uh, it was founded to promote the aesthetics of cuteness. They sure are cute. Michael Nichols is the president of Downtown's Boston Alliance, which is organizing this winter active. He says, this is the darkest, drabbest time of the year in Boston. It's gray, it's cold, it's bitter, and pops of pink color, bubblegum pink dotting the downtown is absolutely changing people's day. So I think that's pretty cute. There's 15 pieces planned in total. At least one other work has already been unveiled. I guess it's a replica of 1962 Canadian satellite that crashed down on the hood of a car. They say it's a throwback to the age of space exploration when technology held a great promise. So, Winteractive. Last year, it consisted of two inflatable clown heads squished between two buildings. They called it Endgame. The installation that was last year's Winteractive. This one, again, with the pink guys. I think they're so cute. So I get why they say it promotes the aesthetics of cuteness, because the pink guys are kind of adorable. Here's another shot. This guy is up on top of a roof. You can see people joyful down below, waving at the pink guy. Come on. I mean, that's adorable, right? Yeah. The exhibition last year was so successful that they've decided to bring it back this year with these pink guys. One there's an employee at a gym near one of the Mr. Pink figures that says, "I'm really excited to see these around town." It's allowing people to just look up. So again, there's one on the roof, there's one climbing a tree, there's one peeking into a bar. 15 of them, they're all over the place. I think that's so cute. All right. From pink guys to, oh my God, I had no idea how incredibly adorable baby king crabs are. Have you ever seen one? I'm telling you. The only reason to do this story is so that I can show you this crazy cute picture. Maybe you've seen a king crab, an infant king crab before. I had not. Oh my God. That is the cutest king crab. I'm telling you. Adorable. This story from IFL Science says, "Watch a baby king crab steal your heart one adorable spike at a time." It is so cute. Uh, the scientists with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration were working in the Gulf of Mexico, aka the Gulf of America, during the summer of 2024, and they were collecting samples of deep sea coral species for lab rearing and propagation when they posted the video of this crab, this little baby king crab, on their website. So cute. They accidentally collected this king crab along with their bag of trash that they were putting together, and they confirmed that this little spiny juvenile is a king crab. One of the team in the background, they had a video, can be heard exclaiming, "Oh my goodness, wow." We know that adult king crabs are often found about 2,000 feet deep and in the Atlantic Ocean. They have a pear-shaped body. It's covered in many spines, which often extends to their legs. They are, according to this article on IFL Science, a mysterious species with little known about their lives and questions around their distribution. So they're so cute when they're little. How does that turn into this? I I mean, I think it's still kind of cute, and I feel sad that we eat them because they're adorable. Who wants to eat that little guy? Come on. But here's what he looks like when he's grown up. Yeah, still kinda cute, but not as cute as this guy. So, the picture of this baby king crab then turns into a little bit of a lesson on adult king crabs and what we know about them. This new little spiny crab is sweeping the internet. People have created artwork and appreciation of his little style. He's a cutie. Hopefully, they put him back where he goes out in the ocean and he can become this someday. But doesn't he look like a little cartoon character? My gosh, so cute. Speaking of cute, let's get to our robot puppy today. Here he is. Kind of very realistic looking. This is Jennie. Jennie is a robot puppy who was introduced at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. And Jennie's whole point in the world is an emotional support dog. She's for your mental health. Maybe you can't take care of a real living creature, real pet, but you still want that companionship and the uplift to your soul and spirit of having a dog around. Well, there's a company based in Santa Clarita, so we hope they don't burn down. It's called Tombot. And Tombot designed this robotic puppy to help people, to help families, to help communities in dealing with health adversities. So they have this yellow lab puppy named Jennie, and more than apparently 15,000 people were at CES. People were stopping by the Jennie booth loving Jennie. Jennie is intended to provide emotional support, mental health for people with dementia, mild cognitive impairment, autism, anxiety, post traumatic stress disorder, and other conditions. She is designed to emulate an 8 to 10 week old lab retriever. They have authentic lab retriever sounds. The sounds are from actual recordings of dogs barking, whining, howling, cooing, and snoring. Jenny can close her eyes or mouth, move her head and neck, wag her tail. There's a sensory system allowing the puppy to tell the difference between a simple touch, a slow caress, a vigorous pet, and being held. She responds to a long list of voice commands, but only to her name. By using a smartphone app, a user can give her any name, so she doesn't have to be Jenny. She can be anybody. The creator said the inspiration came when his mother, Nancy, was very upset that he had to take her dog away for safety reasons after she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. He said the journey of launching Tombot started as a journey to solve my mother's problem. And only later, he writes, did he realize that her story is shared by more than 300 million seniors with dementia, pre dementia, some type of cognitive impairment. The CEO of Tombot, his name is Tom Stevens, and he's the one who developed this product. So they had a team of contract engineers with doing the design, and the puppy is in the final alpha production stage. Soon, the beta test stage, and then the Tombot will accept pre-orders at a cost of $1,500 per puppy. It's almost like you were buying a puppy from a breeder, right? They have 8,000 pre-order and waitlist customers, more than 200 B2B customers, hospitals, skilled nursing, assisted living, and memory care facilities in 86 countries. So people are lining up to get this robot dog. They say they're so confident that the patient population will love Jenny that many patient populations have reached out. So they're engaged in development on at least 17 studies with a variety of patient populations. And they're not the first. I mean, we saw one yesterday, the little cat robot that blows on your tea, but we've seen other pet robots that the functions is to serve as some type of companion or to just lift your spirits. These pet robots are now being seen as a type of technology that have a positive influence on improving the mood of the people around them. And they can apparently reduce agitation, anxiety, stimulate social interactions, all of these things. And I can understand how if you were older and you were alone and you didn't get out much, even having a robot like this would be some form of companionship. It's not a real living creature and you're not going to have that same connection, but maybe it makes a difference. So they'll be able to hold the pet, brush it, take it places. Yeah. They think that this is more helpful for people that have had a pet before or are or were animal lovers in their life. That if that wasn't you, that maybe this won't lift your spirits in the same fashion. They do say that this robot is no substitute for a human relationship, but that it is a complementary tool that can be used in addition to human interaction. So you could use a robotic pet to maybe help engage the person in a conversation about other pets that they've had in their lives, type of thing. I see the benefit in this, and I haven't always thought that would be the case when you talk about robots. It seems to me it sings when you play guitar. That would be nice. Will insurance pay for a Jenny? I don't know. Probably not. It would be nice, right? Yeah. Heather says kitty snores are cute. Tammy says my 14-year-old dog is so gassy. Well, that's one thing you wouldn't have to deal with. Wonder what the puppy robot looks like when it's in motion. I don't know. I don't think it does very much, you know? I think it just sits around. Lets you pet it, makes little noises. I'm starting to see the benefit, though, the possibility of a benefit with these robotic pets, because I used to look at it and go, "Oh, what a waste of time and money." Who would want that? It's a toy, basically. Move on with your life. You don't need toys around. But I guess, if you were someone that was alone, you started having memory issues, this might be something that could help in your world. How did we get here? Writes Ricky O'Bear. I don't know. I don't know how we got here, but here we are. True Text says don't have to water that dog. Yeah. Don't have to clean up after it, right? If it's sick, don't have expensive vet bills. Don't have to worry about expensive food because dog food isn't cheap. It really isn't. Don't have to worry about its well-being, really. Its whole function is just to sit there and make you feel better. Cuter than the crab, says Sea Dog. Really? You think this dog is cuter than the crab? Because I still don't think it looks exactly real. I mean, you can tell it's fake looking. I mean, it's realistic, but it's not the real deal. That crab is real is crazy to me, honestly. How is that real? It looks fake. It's adorable, adorable. Anyway, that's Jenny. Thought I'd share the story of Jenny with you. Shall we move on though to this next story, which is coffee. Now, I mentioned this the other day on the Mark Thompson show when I had to do kind of a robo newscast. Let me take that off. But I didn't get to really dig into the nitty-gritty on this. And it's about how drinking coffee in the morning, specifically in the morning, can cut your risk of premature death. New research published last Wednesday in the European Heart Journal is suggesting that when you enjoy your cup of coffee might be just as important as how much you drink of it. The study showed that consuming coffee only in the morning, was linked to a 16% lower risk of premature death, 31% reduced risk of dying from cardiovascular disease compared to non coffee drinkers. It's the first study that really looked at the timing patterns of drinking coffee as related to health outcomes. The study comes from Tulane University's Public Health Department. They say we don't usually give advice about timing in dietary guidance, but maybe the study shows they should be thinking about that in the future. They looked at data from more than 40,000 adults, 18 and up, using dietary records collected from 1999 to 2018. And they divided the coffee consumption into 3 time frames. They had morning, 4 a.m. to noon, afternoon, noon to 5 p.m., and evening, which is 5 p.m. to about 4 in the morning. The results show those who drank coffee exclusively in the morning hours benefited the most in terms of longevity and heart health. People who drank coffee throughout the day, no significant reduction in risk. How weird is that? The findings were true regardless of whether participants drank caffeinated or decaffeinated coffee and the amount consumed, whether they drank less than 1 cup or more than 3, it didn't impact the benefits. So, why in the ever loving world would timing matter? They say the timing of the intake of your coffee can affect your circadian rhythm, and also it can affect your hormone levels. So if you drink coffee later in the day, even if you think you need that pick me up, it could disrupt your melatonin production, which is a hormone that regulates sleep, and that hormone also influences your heart health. They say some inflammatory markers in the blood have their own clocks, and that anti inflammatory effects of coffee may be more effective when consumed in the morning, and that's when those markers are peaking. They do say this as the asterisk and the caveat. The study is observational, it can't prove causation. So there is that. But they do say that there may be something to this timing thing. Drink your coffee in the morning. Yeah. Wanted to show you this really cool picture. Oh, wait, before I do that, let's go in. Oh, Gordon says melatonin makes sense. Yeah, that's a proper looking cup. Yes, it is. 4 a.m. That's my plan. Coachella Valley, Sumatra, says Ricky. Nice. I wanted to show you this really cool skyscraper. It's either really cool or really frightening, depending on who you are. Because I don't know if I'm swimming in that infinity pool. Not that I would be invited to swim in this infinity pool anyway. This is a $1 billion Dubai skyscraper, or two, actually, skyscrapers plural, and they will be linked by a rooftop infinity pool. There it is, just hanging out in the middle like nothing. But if you look at the each unit seems to have its own pool. All of those pools are just kind of hanging off the side of the building. They have to weigh a lot. And I've just seen my share of balcony collapses, and I'm just not a fan of the way that looks. Maybe you feel differently. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too sensitive. Not sure. But this Dubai skyscraper, or these two skyscrapers, 591 feet tall. They are linked across the top by the sky pool, which is being called Daring. It's above Dubai's Marasi Marina. It's a soaring 43-foot infinity pool, and it's not accessible to the public, of course, or even to most of the luxury tower's residents. It's the exclusive ultra penthouse pool. There are 63 luxury residences in the new Regent Residences Dubai. When it's finished, it'll be worth an estimated $1 billion. The penthouse, you can see the connected penthouse on the top, 35,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, a gym, a private elevator, of course. The other apartments all measure 6,500 square feet and each occupy an entire floor. They're orientated to offer views of the marina and the nearby Burj Khalifa, which is the world's tallest building. And each of the apartments has their own private swimming terrace and access to another 82-foot indoor lap pool as well. I yeah, I'm a no on this. I'm sure that uh I'm sure that it's fine. But the whole time I would not enjoy swimming in these pools, because the whole time I'd be thinking about, okay, what if something happens? I'm listening for the crack, the first crack, and I'm out. And it's not even the infinity pool up on top. Check out the other pools. I mean, they just kind of hang there. Yeah, I don't think so. Eh, I'm a little iffy on that. But if the pool makes you a little crazy, they have tennis courts and paddle courts and outdoor lounges and a private cinema and a virtual golf simulator. There's a podium at the base of the towers that features open green spaces, restaurants, and retail space. It's all part of this overhaul of this Marassi Marina neighborhood in a place called Business Bay. These two towers are not identical but share the same design language: dynamic twisting form and articulated facade, making it a distinctive new addition to Dubai. It's for the rich people to live here. It's not the first time, they say, that a swimming pool has been suspended between two buildings like this. I'm going back to that picture so you can see the suspended between two buildings. There it is. The first one was in London. It was called the See-Through Sky Pool. It was built across the 10th stories of two residential towers, and it opened in 2021 in the London Nine Elms neighborhood. So this has been done before. And perhaps the views are so incredible that as you're doing your starfish swimming around in your lap pool there, your giant pool hanging, 560 feet in the air, life is good and it's all worth it. I don't know. You guys, If you even had access to the penthouse pool, would you go in it? Uh, True Tech says just living in Dubai is saying they want to place themselves in danger. Yeah. The trees are nice. What about the authoritarianism? That's not nice. That's True Tech. Isn't that true? Wear a parachute when swimming. Maybe that's the only way. I'm thinking I'm safe. Blue Spark wants to know why stupid Dubai gets all the cool buildings. Is the bottom of the pool clear? It doesn't look like it. The one in London, I think, is. But this one, the side is clear. So I don't know. I'll pass, says Northern Tier. I think I'll pass too. True Tech says, I don't want that. Fear of heights keeps me more alive. Yeah, yeah. I think you're right. Don't think I'd last long there. Let's move to this story. Well, how about we do Travel Tuesday? There you go. This is Travel Tuesday. And I started looking locally and I thought maybe this is a place accessible to all. Maybe some of you even live in this area. I know we have at least one listener viewer that lives in the Carmel by the sea area. When I was looking at Carmel, all kinds of things started popping out to do there that I had never seen before or even considered. So I thought, let's go to Carmel by the sea. There's a list of things to do in Carmel, and the first one is on the top of every tourist list. And you likely have already done this in your life, but it's worth it again. And you do have to pay a fee. But the first thing is 17-mile drive, which is really fun. It is one of the top rated things to do in Carmel. You could do in just a few hours. Some people rent electric bikes now to do this as well. They have guided tours. There is a fee to enter this neighborhood. It's a little more than $11, I think. It might have gone up since I went, but you can stop for lunch at the Pebble Beach Resort and show your gate receipt to the server, and they'll knock the fee off the cost of your meal if you didn't know that. So that's kind of fun. So that's 17-mile drive. So that's the obvious one. Surfing. I would stay away from Lover's Lane Beach because that's where the shark attacks have happened recently, but surfing in Carmel. Yeah, pretty fun. They have one-on-one lessons or family lessons at Carmel Surf Lessons. They provide the equipment. So whether you're an experienced surfer or somebody who's brand new to the sport, there's something to learn for everyone. And it's also a good opportunity to test out the latest boards. They're always updating their equipment. And again, that's Carmel Surf Lessons. This is something I've never done in Carmel. It's called the Carmel Wine Walk. That's pretty fun. We know that in the Monterey Valley, Monterey County, there's some really, really good wineries and some great vineyards are just off Ocean Avenue, off the main strip of Carmel. They have a wine walk guide, and you can use this map to check out almost 20 tasting rooms within 1 square mile. That's pretty convenient. The guide shows you all the locations, gives you an idea of what to expect at each winery, and then they have special offers at some of these venues. So you can download this Carmel Wine Walk guide onto your phone in advance if you're headed that way. And that's something that I've never done before. And so that might be fun. I've also never seen this. You may have. This is Carmel's Mission, and you can go explore it. The Carmel Mission, a must visit site in Carmel. It has, of course, historical significance, but also really lush gardens. This church was built in 1771 by Father Junipero Serra. It is the second oldest mission in Higher California. They say Alta California. There's bougainvilleas all over the gardens, beautifully restored buildings. There's a courtyard, which is said to be very peaceful, and photographers love this area. This mission, the Carmel Mission, was said to be the personal favorite of Junipero Serra. He died here. He was buried on the grounds of the Carmel Mission. So you can tour these buildings and get a sense of what the life was like there. See the museum. They've got artifacts from this era, but it is also a working church. So if you are someone who wants to attend service, you can do that. You can get married at Carmel Mission, so that you might see a wedding while you're there as well. How about this? Have you been to Point Lobos? Hmm. It's often called California's prettiest state park, the state park at Point Lobos. So beautiful that it has a state natural reserve designation, which is the state park equivalent of a gold medal. It is called the crown jewel of the state park system. Blue waters, there's a white sugar sand beach, wildflowers, dramatic cliffs, twisted pines on the bluffs. It is 3 miles south of downtown Carmel. There is the Point Lobos State Natural Reserve, again, popular with photographers, painters, hikers. You can see a lot of wildlife here, both on and offshore. Rare plants and trees, the Monterey cypress grows here. They're one of two remaining groves in the world. You could see seals, sea lions, sea otters hanging out on the rocks. This is a popular spot offshore for scuba divers as well. There's China Cove, with a beautiful arch formation. The area is also home to Bird Island Trail. You can walk the steps down to the beach and check out the birds, and the Monterey Cypress Grove Trail too, where you can go check out the Monterey cypress trees. So that is Point Lobos State Natural Reserve. You can also play some golf at Pebble Beach, or maybe just take a look at it, even if you're not a golfer. This course is known for its beauty, its difficulty, and its history as the first public golf course to host the US Open. It is not cheap. So, if you were going to play golf at Pebble Beach, it would be expensive, and you have to make a reservation well in advance. If maybe this isn't for you, there's the less famous but equally beautiful Spyglass Hill or the Links at Spanish Bay. Those are other golf courses in the area. So, kind of fun. And it's nice to have this famous golf course here. This is beautiful. Look at the art in Carmel. Look at all those lamps. So beautiful. There's a lot of art. When you walk down the street in Carmel, you can see why artists have been drawn to this community. The prices are diverse. There's souvenirs, and then there's fine art. The Carmel Art Association is a good place to start. They have more than 100 local artists represented in their downtown gallery. So you can go check it out. It's the Carmel Art Association. And then, and this is fun, what about some shopping? Look at all these cute little boutiques in downtown Carmel. Really nice. So wander around, go shopping in this charming area. Most of the shops and the cafes and restaurants in Carmel are along Ocean Avenue and the streets right off of them. They don't allow any chain stores here. So every store in Carmel is a locally owned business. All the side streets have these trendy boutiques just off the main strip. Some of the more well-known stores, Ms. Fabulous, which has beach attire. The Carmel Plaza has Beechwood Home Carmel. Mission and Ocean is where it's located. They have the Carmel Dog Shop on Lincoln Street, so kind of fun. Speaking of which, and even if you're just walking around town, it's really cute. There's a Carmel walk that you can take to go on this historic walking tour. It's a self-guided tour of the homes, the inns, the churches, and the restaurants that make this area so special. The mild Mediterranean climate, cheap land, and prices at the turn of the century attracted immigrants to Carmel. And it was also the perfect place for this artist community. This architect, Hugh Comstock, developed a bohemian style to house these writers and artists in the 1920s, which is why Carmel by the Sea has these distinctive storybook cottage-like buildings. Here's another one. It's really beautiful. You almost feel like you've entered another land. I will say there's also a guided cottage tour. This is something I've also never done, and I think it would be really, really fun to do. So, again, this is the guided cottage tour in Carmel. The straight out of these storybook homes are a big part of what makes Carmel by the Sea special. Many of these are on this self-guided historical walking tour, but you get more information on these cottages if you go with a local guide. So again, Hugh Comstock built his wife a fairy tale home just for her prized doll collection. That's the home was for that. It was immediately a hit in the village, and then Hugh was building more homes in the same style throughout the community. Their original dollhouse is still standing. Now, all residences in Carmel can be tricky to find because the city shuns anything as mundane as a postal address. So all of the homes have names. Homeowners are supposed to add, or they try to add, a distinguishing feature like a colorful fence in order to direct out of towners to their front door. So, I live in the house with a red door. I live in the house with, whatever it is. That makes it getting to a location a little bit challenging. But yeah, you can take a guided tour of all of these cottages. Super fun. You can also check out the Frank Lloyd Wright House, which stands against the tide at the far end of Carmel Beach. It is a stone-clad building. It looks like the prow of a ship, and like other Frank Lloyd Wright homes, blends into its natural surroundings. The house is still owned by the family who commissioned Frank Lloyd Wright to build it in 1948. Mrs. Clinton Walker. His family still owns it. It's best viewed from the beach, but once a year they open up the house to the public so you can go inside and you can check it out. You can also take a look at the tour house. Look how beautiful that place is. Really, really cool and special. So again, this is the tour house, uh, also called Robinson Jeffers Tour House. It's a stone-built cottage of American poet Robinson Jeffers, who was inspired by Carmel's natural beauty to write his poetry. You can tour this house and its gardens on Saturdays. It does have a tower, which was built by the poet as a quiet place for his wife. Both structures are made from granite hauled up from the beach below. So if you're interested in photography or literature or architecture, this is one of the most unique Carmel by the Sea attractions. This next place maybe doesn't look as fancy. No, but it is still pretty cool. This is the Whalers Cabin Museum. China Cove was once a Chinese fishing village, and the story of Chinese Cove is told in this Whalers Cabin Museum, which is back in Point Lobos State Natural Reserve. It was founded, this village, by a group of Chinese fishermen who were shipwrecked there and then just decided to stay. They built this cabin from pine trees. It is located on the bluff above Whalers Cove. Open weekdays, daily actually, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. There are several exhibitions in this museum detailing the lives of the immigrants who laid the foundations for Monterey's commercial fishing empire. You can go spot the butterflies at Palo Corona Regional Park. Beautiful. The butterflies hatch, feed, and reproduce in July. So that's your best chance to see the monarch butterflies in Monterey. What about taking a look at the birds at the Carmel River Bird Sanctuary? This is at Carmel River State Beach in the lagoon, right where the river meets the sea. You've got California brown pelicans, terns, sandpipers, and curlews that hang out in this spot. If it's the winter time, you might see a snowy plover. If you follow the river upstream, you're going to see some woodpeckers likely. They say the beach is the perfect spot to throw down a blanket, take out a little picnic, and appreciate the wildlife. The fall and the winter are the best seasons to go bird watching in Carmel, but they say you can see birds throughout the year as well. So we're in the perfect spot for it. That's Carmel River State Beach at the Carmel River Bird Sanctuary. Pretty cool. And then, of course, there's whale watching in the area. There's the Monterey Bay Aquarium, and you can always take a stroll on the beach. And that, my friends, is Travel Tuesday locally to Carmel by the Sea. Hopefully you found something that you didn't know was in Carmel that might be kind of fun for you. Yeah. Pelicans, yes, says Jose. Nice. Cranky says, I was going to ask you to do a travel place around this area as we are planning to come later this year. We'll have to go back and watch it fresh from the start. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to do for you, my friend. I mean, I would love for you to watch it as well, but also take a look at this. All right. Because there's some things I left out, some things that most people that live in the Bay Area and have been to Monterey would kind of already know about. So here, Cranky, is a link for you. I'm posting it in the chat right now. Copy it, save it, and when you're coming, make sure you take a look and make your list, because there's a lot of really fun things to see and do that I didn't even know about. And I've been to this area multiple times. Went to high school just down the road in Santa Cruz. So yeah, I'm glad that we hooked up on this. That's great. And it'll be nice to have you here in California. Really good. Jose says travels are great this time of year here. Yeah, wonderful. Well, that, my friends, is the After Party Live on a Tuesday. Tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show, Michael Schur will be back in the captain's chair, and it will be along with John Rothman, who will be on the show, and Belinda Weymouth as well. So thank you for being here on the After Party Live. Please click like, please click subscribe. I'll see you back here. If you have any suggestions for Waterfall Wednesday tomorrow, please email them. Here is the email address. It is kim@theafterparty.live. Wait, I have it. Yep. kim@theafterparty.live. There it is. Please feel free to email me. I love your suggestions and often use them. So thank you very much. All right. Make it a great rest of your day. I'll see you back here tomorrow on YouTube for the Mark Thompson Show at 11. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
Ooh, hiss. Blue Spark, thank you. I just saw the $10. I've been called a nag before, my friend. You're not the first one. Thank you, Blue Spark.